Hello, welcome to the Aria Randomizer Tournament 2022 Grand Finals between JupiterClimb and LuichoX. This is a best of three. All three matches will be played today, and if Luicho wins, the bracket will reset, and we have another set of matches another day. I'm joined here by Garney, Texas on commentary.
Hi, I'm Garney.
Right off the bat, we're going to see this hammer shop randomized. That Olrock suit, pretty good armor, but it looked expensive to me. They can't afford it off right now. So it'll be interesting to see what they choose to buy here. And it looks like the Milliken sword for both.
Not a lot of good stuff in the shop at the start.
For the presets, same as the rest of the tournament, so we're going to be seeing the Panther Blue Soul pretty soon. It's going to be in one of the first 6 checks. These first 3 here are all money. And we're going to see a bit of a route divergence. Luicho, as a player, really likes to check this left door, whereas Jupiter tends to skip it all the time. This could come back to bite him later in the seed. Sometimes this left route could be where progression is located, as well as if the later route in the seed is a bit confusing. We are seeing a Gray Soul.
Okay, I got excited.
It could have been possible that was, say, Hippogriff, Slide, or Malphus there, but we're seeing Black Panther for JupiterClimb. This is the Dash Soul, and it's what keeps these seeds going fast. Earlier in this tournament, this is actually Luicho and Jupiter's second match against each other. Luicho went through the loser's bracket to get back here. Jupiter did not check that left door, and the seed locations were a bit weird, so it went into gardens at the end. And Jupiter, seeing that, did not believe that was the correct way to go, and headed back through the entirety of corridors. We're seeing it again here. Jupiter waited to get Panther to check this left door. He sees that it's top floor, and he's also going to see this underground reservoir and kicker skeleton check.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Jupiter last time mentioned that he was worried because of Luicho as a player likes to go to the left side early, and that's why he bailed out of corridors earlier. And we're seeing that again here, although he did a save split this time to save a little more time going back.
But with underground reservoir on top floor there, it's unlikely that we have one of those more weirder Malphus placements. That said, if we don't see Malphus for the rest of corridors, we're going to be headed into either garden or chapel or study for our next area, which could lead to some possibly missed checks. And we do see Slide there. Not Malphus, but Slide will allow the runners to get through slide-blocked exits, of which there are 2, one of which is study. So it's possible that this is a lead into study, yeah.
Yeah, study's at the end of corridors, I'm believing.
And we also see that flight-locked yellow book. So, barring any duplicates, the runners are going to need flight and then to come back to this part of corridors to grab this. As I imagine most people here know, we need the 3 required souls to get on the true ending route and defeat Julius and Chaos. These souls are listed within these 3 books, of which there is a 50% chance of there being a duplicate. So the runners need to collect these books to know what souls are, collect the souls, equip them when they fight Graham, and then they can go on to true ending.
Yeah, I've mentioned this a couple of times recently, but I think this randomizer is really kind with the redundancies and like potential duplicate books, and you have like duplicate backdash, duplicate schoola, things like that, which make this randomizer a lot easier to get into, but also prevents like super RNG like checks and things like that. Like, oh, I just decided to go this place and I got what we needed.
This is really interesting. The runners do not have Malphus yet, but they're being forced through this very strange route. I've seen this a couple times, but it's awful. Reservoir is partially in logic without Malphus. We're seeing this. They have very low gear. Thank God they bought that armor of water from the shop, otherwise they'd be taking large amounts of damage from those Tritons that they have to damage boost through.
Yeah, unless Malphus is in this man-eater room, which Jupiter isn't even checking. We saw that gray canister in the slide spot, which is really, really mean. Luicho gets it.
Luicho is able to grab that, and that means he won't have to go through another dangerous room, which Jupiter is going to have to do here since he didn't have any souls to pierce that wall.
Yeah, and the awkward thing about this room before... Oh, what the... How does he get up there?
You have to jump off the platform.
Those Medusa heads spawn very randomly, and they can just make everything bad. No, 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 no!
This is, probably the worst layout, the worst placement for Malphus that I could think of that's in logic.
Yeah, this is awful. Oh,
Oof.
man.
Jupiter takes a death. I think he's headed back to the save in the beginning of corridors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The pressure is on, y'all.
The previous two matches, though, Jupiter won 2-0. They were both very close matches. And some mistakes like this death here could cost Jupiter this victory here. Luicho, though, he grabbed that warp and is headed back to Castle Corridors, so... Ooh, backdash. Okay. Good movement, but it's mostly used for canceling weapon attacks in this randomizer.
Yeah, there are a lot of weapons that have landing lag or don't finish their animation quickly while you're on the ground, and backdash is really helpful for canceling that.
That could be Skula.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
Man. Back to the reservoir? What do you think?
No. He's probably going to save and then do either Floating Gardens or the Skula exit here. The Skula exit if he's feeling like following the progression route, or the Floating Gardens exit if he just wants to do the closest one and skip that check entirely.
It's your favorite.
Yeah. Every exit leads to Eastern, all roads.
Every time.
Yeah, that makes 3 exits from corridors that take you to Reservoir.
That's crazy.
Very interesting seed here.
Reservoir is definitely one of the largest parts of this castle, and like super interconnected, so you don't need this many entrances from one area leading to Reservoir, because you can just run through it and get to the other parts that you might want to go to. But it is always nice, because of how big it is, to see that, oh, I don't need to worry about going to this direction.
It's actually the largest area in terms of item checks, with I believe 21, compared to Castle Corridor's 20.
Oh, that's crazy, yeah. Oh, Emily, just going for it. Jupiter working towards his Malphus soul. This room is... I wouldn't want to go through this room ever, but like, especially without Malphus, this is something else.
You can jump over them, I believe. Yes.
There we go. Okay,
But now,
some health and a prayer.
Yeah, now you need to get out, and you need to get through that devil room.
And
Jupiter could head up. There's a save point above him, but it's through another very dangerous room filled with skeleton.
And he doesn't have Skula either, so going that way is just, he's just gonna have to go back or do a non-logic going towards Eastern, which we understand will be fine, but he doesn't know that. Oh, and Triton from the Needles, man, all these really good souls from random, like, easy mobs.
Chronomage in East, that could actually be really good. Chronomage allows the runners to skip through a Galamoth locked check, which, given the propensity of Galamoth to be in unfortunate locations, could be very good for saving time, or even just getting checks that the other runners won't be able to get. But Jupiter makes it out and he's able to grab his backdash now.
Okay, now let's see where Jupiter heads out to.
Lucho's finished off Eastern. Gets that Skull Archer random drop. Probably not required, but you never know. 1 in 30 chance-ish. And it looks like, I think he's headed to the left side of Reservoir. He has that Kicker Soul, so he can get that one normally Undine locked check, as well as this check that's often skipped in the middle of Reservoir.
Oh, the loneliest room in the game. With
Oof.
the worst healing in the game after Meat Strip.
Oh. Okay.
He doesn't need that. The needles outside the room drop Triton. Come on, game.
Lot souls for Lucho, though.
Jupiter
there
following
are-
Luicho's footsteps here.
Yeah. We'll see how it turns out for him if he decides to do Eastern or not after grabbing that Gunner.
He's actually doing
Ooh.
it, and he didn't grab go. Wow. I didn't expect Jupiter to do it, and also to commit to Eastern.
That's pretty surprising. I know both of these runners tend to skip Eastern if given the chance.
Right,
So-
exactly.
I guess being forced into it so early is... Ooh! Forbidden area for Luicho. This area has 2 checks. They're very high weighted, but also a lot of the checks in this randomizer don't necessarily rely on weight, namely the soul canisters. The Luicho can get these checks with Skula, so it's a question of if he wants to see what this exit is, and possibly skip Forbidden. Ooh, this is really good.
Oh, wow.
The save point here in Study, Luicho will be able to save at, and he can go save split the checks in Forbidden if he wants, which will save him the entire time of backtracking through Forbidden, which is really the reason nobody does it. You have to go there, do that far check, and then if it's nothing, you have to run all the way back. So being able to
That's
save
really
split
convenient.
is super nice.
Plus, he gets to refill his health, and I mean, this seed has been really awful from start to right now, and it's just not letting up yet.
Jupiter also got that Chronomage. Oh!
Oh, okay.
Oh. Well, on one hand, that's a disappointment because it's not your Hippogriff, it's not Giant Bat. But it does mean that Luicho will be able to reset out, which saves him the time from the save split. Now, a bit of a question, what is Jupiter going to do here? He's taking a lot of damage on his way out, but he doesn't have the Kicker Skeleton Soul. He didn't head all the way into Reservoir. Oh, great armor.
I mean, he's not resetting out. I guess he wants to keep it.
It is pretty far out of the way, so even if it was the required soul, if you wrote that down, you'd have to come back to Reservoir and then head to the far part of Reservoir to get back here.
Yeah,
So-
I guess without knowing the other side of Study yet, this is not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a gamble. Now, Jupiter, he doesn't have Kicker, so will he head to those far left checks? Because he'll have to orphan that Kicker check, which we know is nothing. But does Jupiter know that?
You know, if
Looks
it were
like-
me, I wouldn't be too worried about it. But yeah, that is always something you never want to do, is orphan things along the way, along the path that you're going.
Yeah, especially when they're this far out of the way. It can be a struggle of, you're missing one item, do you go back and do these checks?
Oh yeah, that's the worst. Like, you've explored most of the castle and it's just being really stingy on the last thing that you need. It's like, oh
Yeah.
man, I forgot to go. Man, I don't want to go back there.
Especially if it's a soul. Those are placed
Oh,
with no
yeah.
logic, so you can't reassure yourself, oh, it's not gonna be there. That's just Undine locked.
Right, right.
Because it could be anywhere in the game.
Ooh, okay. So let's see if Luicho studied the Rush Soul strat here.
I think he studied the Rush Soul strat about as much as any of the rest of us,
I
and
mean,
just
he
knows.
got it.
Yeah, it's just the knowledge of he'll do the attack. So just Rush Soul in the corner and it works out. You're seeing a bit of soul weaving between Triton and Archdemon. Archdemon, one of the best yellows in the game, allows you to regain MP when you get hit. And
It's so
Triton,
broken.
very good for this multi-hitting Gungnir. So he's able to keep up his Rush Soul damage as well as boost his curly damage. Jupiter grabs that Galamoth. I believe he also saved and study. Ooh.
Don't die. Okay, he didn't eat the persimmon. It wouldn't help him.
But we'll see if Jupiter chooses to reset out of Forbidden here after seeing that Great Armor Soul.
I'm saying he will. He probably feels like he's so far behind. Like this is pointless. Yeah.
Good call. Hey, it's Red Minotaur.
Oh, we just need the Chaos Ring.
There was talk in the pre-race room chat about how if I generated the seed, it would be a Chaos Ring Red Minotaur seed. And we're halfway there.
Yeah, one of two. And, you know, it's always 50-50 whether it is or it's not.
So right here, Jupiter has made up a lot of his lost time with that reset. They're just about, I'd say, a minute and a half apart now. Lucho finds Iron Golem, which is really good for movement. But if it turns out that that Great Armor Soul is the required Blue Soul, it is a 1 in 6 chance. Then Jupiter will have to retread this whole area to head back there and grab that soul, whereas Lucho, the moment he finds that book, can be headed off to go mode if that's the timing.
Jupiter forgot the setup. Oh no.
I can't believe the world record holder for glitchless forgot the glitchless setup.
We're being really rough on Jupiter, but you know he's just that caliber of player where it's just like we expect the best from that guy. He's #1 for a reason. Won the last 2 tournaments. Has been a winner side of grand finals, waiting for another match. You know, this guy's a legend.
Time to see the exit from study. This is a left exit. It could be a dead end. There is only one left. That is top floor dead end. Since they exited through. Okay. It is the far side of the corridors. Normally a flight check. It'll be good to lock that off since it's very inconvenient to get to these farther corridors checks. So I think we're going to be seeing Lucho head to Vanilla Dance Hall. Or not Dance Hall. Vanilla Inner Quarters off of corridors. Just right up here and to the left.
Yeah, it's always nice when you get to see what those entrances are in the later part of corridors with the flight checks when you don't have flight yet. Because it's like, okay, well, I don't have to think about this for a while now. Or at all, maybe. And we do see gardens, which is always nice to see. And Luicho does decide to continue through it as well.
Doing the much vaunted reverse gardens route. This is a solid, I believe, 30-40 seconds faster than doing gardens the traditional way.
This route's pretty Chad. I haven't learned it.
I know a lot of runners who see it, they know it's faster, and just haven't put the time to memorize it. Myself partially included. It was developed by Algorithm. Shoutouts to Algorithm.
Yeah, there's been a lot of really interesting developments for the randomizer and Aria in general from the start of this tournament. Algorithm has especially been one of those large contributors and just like creating routes, strats, and all sorts of things. Just like picking apart things that haven't really been thought about, like nobody would have thought about this kind of thing, or other strategies like using slime and sticking in a wall.
Everything leads to reservoir. And we're seeing another one of those algorithm strategies. If you go in and out of this waterfall, it resets your double jump, which allows you to climb to this normally flight locked check using only double jump. It's a super potion. That's actually worth it. And with the Undine Soul, you can continue your climb up to the top of waterfall and get 2 more checks that are also normally flight locked. This is a very hard trick, though both runners here have practiced it. So it'll be interesting to see if Luicho can get this, as this last jump is... Ooh, nice, he gets that. He's seen that check on the right, and it's a castle map to the left.
He's rewarded with toilet paper.
But that doesn't mean that Luicho has... he has cleared every single check in Waterfall. He's seen 2 of them from eastern side, and now he just got the other 2 using Waterfall Climb. Which means that he won't have to go back there when he gets flight. It's not a long endeavor, but it is a bit of time save, possibly. Especially if he finds Bat.
It's always nice, again, like, there's so many places to check in this randomizer, and with the addition of entrance randomizer, like, there's just so much to keep in your head. It's always nice to free up any sort of mental space possible, and so doing Waterfall early like that, big deal, even though it didn't lead to anything.
Jupiter on the left, he's doing the traditional gardens route. It's a bit slower because you have to run through this room just a couple more times, which takes so much traversal time, as well as the waiting time on the platforms to get in there. And there's his duplicate Gravekeeper for his troubles.
We saw on LuichoX side that Great Armor is also in the shop, so that Forbidden, keeping the Great Armor soul from the Forbidden check was unnecessary after all.
Yeah, that loses Luicho a bit of his lead. That potential lead, I suppose, if they found out that it was required. Jupiter having a bit of trouble with this waterfall climb after Luicho did it very impressively.
It's so hard.
God, it's impossible.
It's even harder on the left side. Like, Luicho made it look so easy, but I've yet to even get the left side once. And, you know, the idea is, like, for the right side, it's not so big a deal. Oh, there's flight!
That
Get the waterfall.
Yeah, Luicho got that heading back through the left exit of corridors. So, just a bit better there. Some good routing, remembering. There's a school of check here. I'm never going to come out of this exit to do it. So let me check. And it leads right to top floor. That's so convenient for Luicho.
So nice. And Luicho will have access to that book that we saw earlier in the corridors, and hopefully this will lead to the other ones, because 22 minutes in, we've only seen one of them, but don't have any confirmation on what souls we might need.
Jupiter is heading to the school of check. We are seeing our first divergence in routes here. They've basically been doing the same thing, just a minute apart, and now we're going to see this difference.
Ooh.
The clock tower, there are 5 item checks here. 2 are school locked, 1 is behind a boss. Jupiter can get every check here. We've seen 1 boss, it was death already. So this means there is a 1 in 5 chance for the boss to be a Legion, which I do not believe either runner wishes to face. So it could be that we see Jupiter run into Legion and just reset out. Could be that it's a Headhunter for more shop upgrade. It's a bit of a gamble going in, but he'll probably save beforehand just to save the reset time.
Oh man, Imp was also in the shop, I think.
Unlucky. Was probably hoping that was Bat, since especially these bottom clock tower checks and that far slide one, pretty high weighted.
Yeah.
So you often see a flight there. While this divergence could be good for Jupiter, just because he's not following Luicho's footsteps, but slower, this does mean he's skipping that giant bat check. He doesn't have flight right now. And though top floor has not paid off, this dead end will take Luicho to another part of the castle that we haven't seen. Jupiter really wants this black belt and is having a lot of trouble getting it. Interesting. This is a dead end. There are 4 checks, 1 boss. But if, say, the book is there, or one of his required souls, this could be a really good play. And Headhunter for Jupiter, so gonna be an easy boss fight that unlocks more of the shop. Taking that save here, 1 in 4 chance of Legion for Luicho, though we think it's 1 in 5.
Oh
Ooh,
man.
I think
This
he's
shouldn't be
doing
too bad
this.
though.
Yeah, he has Arc Demon, he has a Rush Soul, he has Triton, and a multi-hitting weapon. I know Luicho really likes using Arc Demon on this fight,
It's really satisfying.
so watch for these strats. Also developed by Algorithm.
Shadows to the hell.
Yeah, and there's Headhunter going down quite quickly.
Ooh, with Stolas
That's
as the
Stolas.
reward? And your favorite!
Wow. Julius. Jupiter, I'm sure, will use that weapon over the better Gunner. Yeah, so when you Rush Soul against this wall, you take damage, basically guaranteed, because you're ending within Legion's hitbox. But if you have Arc Demon equipped, that damage is just only good for you. It gives you that MP, so you can head back to the other side, get your Rush Soul back immediately. And Milliken's Sword over on the left side, Jupiter against Manticore, it is actually weak to Petrify, which makes enemies take double damage on the next hit.
Yeah, that's something you won't see all too often, even in the randomizer, because Milliken's Sword generally gets tossed out of the way with a better weapon later on.
There's Legion down.
Oh, no.
Basilisk for his troubles.
Oh no.
Not likely, but it's possible that that is the required soul. It decreases your attack, raises your defense. It makes the final fight very hard.
What Barracks is trying to say in more or less words is that it sucks. Oh, and
True.
we see the Luicho lean. Really, the Basilisk makes, if it's required for the Graham fight, you have to be very calculated with your damage in the second phase. Otherwise, you're just going to be smacking ones on Graham for a long time.
We see a bone pillar at the end of Cemetery, as well as Caliblog, I think, was there. Might have been in the shop.
No, yeah, definitely Caliblob was there. That'll be nice for the Julius fight.
One of the best weapons in the game, actually.
Definitely.
Better damage than Levitain, but it's just dark, which makes it bad against Chaos, the final boss.
I mean, that being said, Levitain isn't exactly great against Chaos, but it's better than Caliblob at least.
Again, Jupiter running into this slide lock dance hall exit there after getting basically nothing from Chapel, Zombie Soldier Soul. There's a check there in that ceiling, a breakable wall, but without Flight or that Kicker Skeleton Soul, he can't get it. Another of these Kicker checks that Jupiter is missing because he didn't do that far check that Luicho did at the start.
Yeah, so just one more thing to keep in mind for later. Oh, Random Devil, and there's Hippogriff, okay. So Jupiter's got his Flight now, and he got a stronger Rush Soul than Curly, so that'll be nice to have. He can also go back to that check that Barracks just mentioned as well and pick it up.
And we're seeing on the right Luicho heading to that Flight locked book, which now both runners can get. Luicho forgot where it was, but now he's getting it.
So this is the part of the randomizer that's always really exciting. Okay, Zombie Officer for a yellow, where it just comes down to choices. If Jupiter decides to trace Luicho's steps and go similar places, then this race is in Luicho's hands. But Jupiter could just decide, he doesn't know where things are exactly, he doesn't know where Luicho's been. He could just make all the right choices at this point and just end up pulling ahead.
We did see that Zombie Officer Soul. It was in Dance Hall, the slide lock. Jupiter grabbed that. He doesn't have the book yet, but now he has the soul, so until Luicho finds his way into Dance Hall, he won't be getting that soul.
Okay, so we have one confirmed soul from the book that we already have, and Noah, of course. That's always nice. And we see quarters now on Luicho's side. I'm a huge fan of quarters. It just makes me happy to see it. Do you have like a favorite area to find in the randomizer Barracks?
Probably Chapel, honestly.
Okay, yeah.
quarters does have a bit of interesting routing decisions. There's if you enter on the right side, there's two ways you can go. There's another exit off the left, as well as the rest of corridors, which we're seeing Luicho do here. So,
Yeah.
while that one door, it is very close to that warp, so I think Luicho grabbed that warp knowing that he can come back and do that check later. If he runs out of areas. And with Legion dead, Luicho can run into any of these boss fights without worry. The hardest one left is Belor, and that's just free experience.
We're finally seeing the payoff from Galamoth here. And it's just an umbrella.
Classic Galamoth. Just complete garbage to reward you for getting the soul from Forbidden Area.
We're seeing that Jupiter has gone straight to top floor after fighting Hippogriff, which, you know, we've seen Luicho do this already, so in line with like the whole, or what I mentioned with like just making the choices, we'll just be seeing Jupiter a little bit behind even still.
This clock tower exit for Luicho actually puts him on the same route that Jupiter took.
That's right, yeah, so yeah, we've diverged a lot, but now Luicho is following Jupiter's steps.
Notably, Hippogriff for Jupiter makes these flight checks a lot faster to get. Yeah. There's no menuing involved to equip it, and it's also just faster movement.
And, sorry.
No, go ahead.
The entrance that Luicho came from, he can save split this bottom section with the pendulum room and the spike paths.
Yeah, just a bit more time save. We saw Luicho sliding into that gear. I think what he was trying to do is that those gears are very jank, and sometimes you can crouch through them the same way you would any other platform. I'm not sure what actually governs that, but if you get in the corner, sometimes it'll work, and I think that's what Luicho is trying to go for there.
Yeah, that's a really strange property of those gears. I've managed to do it myself. I think it's like something to do with your speed, like moving forward, if the gear is like actually moving you forward in a specific way. But that just could, I don't know.
So Luicho chose to not reset those checks, and is now headed up to fight this boss, Headhunter. Jupiter not making use of Archdemon, so this is going to be a much slower fight for him, using Vijaya and Triton, I assume. So his damage...
Archdemon was a random soul, right? Did he get it?
I don't remember.
I think that's like a big deal. Like that's something that Luicho got. I think it was from a zombie or something.
That's huge then. One of the best yells in the game, like I said, and it's saving Luicho time on Legion, and it'll save him time on every other long fight in this game. Bad luck with his Legion movement there from Jupiter. The core came close enough for only 2 hits of Devil before going away.
But a pretty quick fight, all things considered, even without that Archdemon to speed up with Rush Souls. Devil doing more damage. He has the Vaya instead of the Gungnir, which is much more easy to use, much better to use.
This Headhunter phase is going quick for Luicho, and pretty soon we're going to see him entering at the same. I want to say dance hall. No. Was this chapel, I think? We'll find out.
I can't remember, man. I just go with the flow a lot of times. Even when I'm doing the run myself, it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep going until I find something new. Jupiter's been through Chapel already. We saw him use Militant Sword on Manticore here, so we know there's nothing really specific, or so far that we know, that we need from Chapel.
Yeah, just a single red soul, which we don't know if it's the... Ooh! Luicho choosing to warp out of Chapel rather than complete it. So he's not going to be seeing Dance Hall at the end. Unless he just wants to check the shop.
Yeah, he did just beat Headhunter. There's some new stuff in here for him.
Nothing good, though.
No.
Final guard could be good. The beam skeleton's a decent red.
Oh, really
And
cheap super potions. Or no,
that's his sell menu.
What
So
the
they would
heck?
be cheap if they were in the shop.
You think Hammer will sell it back?
Jupiter headed back to Waterfall. Does that one check with Hippogriff.
And as they say in baseball, yeah, out of there!
He's gonna get giant bat.
The poor soul.
He might also get kicker skeleton actually. That'll complete his bingo card.
Ooh.
He's gonna see these 2 checks he could have had for quite a while now. And Lucho headed back into chapel. Gets the random drop. Golem also in the
Nice.
shop.
Good manip, Luicho. Proud of you.
20% runners, am I right? Yeah, so that's the, I believe, 1 soul in chapel.
Okay, yeah. Oh man, this is a really dry seed.
Yeah. We've seen 1 book this far in. There's not a whole lot of areas left. It's like just lower Dancehall and Arena, I want to say.
Yeah, and I guess Arena would be. Where would Arena? Would it be that quarters entrance we didn't go through yet?
Yeah.
Oh no! Hello. Uh-oh. This is Jupiter's favorite.
Yeah, since he's already seen this, he's seen Dancehall, and I think he's cleared most of the other areas. It could be that this is the deciding factor, Jupiter just finding Arena already.
Oh my god! He has that.
We're just looking for the blue book now. Did he grab yellow? I don't think he actually grabbed yellow.
Yeah, I don't think he's gone back yet.
Okay, so that'll be some more time. We haven't seen this check either. This check that Lucho is on now.
True, true. I like that Jupiter hasn't gone back for the yellow yet, just because, like, you could just find a duplicate.
It's true. Oh god, both in Arena.
This game
That
is too cruel.
Wow. Stacked Arena here. So
Why did you roll the
Lucho...
seed?
I know, right? 2 Chaos Ring. Lucho's gonna be stuck here clearing Dance Hall. Open for his books, you know. He's gonna get Hippogriff up here. But unless he's lucky enough to find duplicates down in lower Dance Hall, which I suspect he'll do, he's gonna need to then head back to corridors and hope to find this arena exit.
I looked away
Jupiter
for a
not
second.
go for
What
blue
was-
book?
Wait, he didn't?
No, that tunnel's far too long. I don't think I would have missed it.
Oh, we both.
He went down and he saved.
Oh,
and I
maybe.
think he
Okay,
just
he's gonna
warped
save
out.
split the yellow book then.
This is yellow soul for Lucho. He does know that's his soul.
Okay, good. Yeah, the convenient thing about the books is that they're just knowledge, so if you pick them up and you can save split out of them and not worry about keeping the book. You don't need the book to defeat Graham's second phase to go into the chaos. So Jupiter here, choosing to save and then go back to where the yellow book was, he doesn't have to run all the way back to the arena or wherever he needs to go or decides to go.
That's true. He could reset this too, if he just doesn't want to take the damage from tanking.
Yeah.
Big golem.
Do we have that?
Doesn't look like it.
But it's from
We
Giant
have it.
Ghost.
That's true. You could farm that in Chapel.
Which is just a warp away.
Yep, head is right there.
Oh man, nice red Minotaur from
Good
Luicho.
damage. This first phase of Valor has a lot more defense, so high damaging weapons like Palbulg or souls like Red Minotaur are very good for breaking through this first phase and lowering the defense in phase 2.
This is crazy. Jupiter was behind the whole time.
Same Red Minotaur, using Arc Demon there to get that extra damage. And now it's just a question of how lucky will Jupiter get this farm. Ooh, very lucky. Jupiter is in go mode now, I believe.
Yeah, I think that was all he needed. I don't know if Jupiter wants to go back to the shop or anything. I don't remember if there was any healing, but he's definitely skilled enough to not need to.
With Calibulg and Poison Fist, Devil, I think that's all you really need for these last couple bosses.
He doesn't have Archdemon, as we noted
This
earlier,
next
but...
corridors for Luicho. I lied, it doesn't.
Rip.
So yeah, he has those corridor exits left. Just
Yeah,
two of them. One of them.
This race has turned around so quickly. And Luicho trying to find somewhere to go. He doesn't quite remember everything or what he's might left out. We're seeing Graham on Jupiter's side.
Amazing RNG. Graham in the corner. You can get that multi-hitting rush soul. Saves you so much MP across the fight. And that Stolas soul raising that damage to very good levels.
Oh man, it's always nice when your weapon does 50-ish damage in second phase, because that's an easy count, like 28, 29.
Yeah. Now, Luicho's checking bottom dance hall. Or, not bottom dance hall, bottom clock tower at the exit down there. He doesn't remember, corridors. Some good manipulation on Jupiter's side. Where there's slides on the bottom to move where the hand is. Or not the hand, the laser circle.
That was a really fast grand fight, like just over a minute.
More accessories.
I'm a big fan of Satan's Ring. Gives you a big intelligence boost. Rush Souls always do a lot more that way. But, you know, in the randomizer in the moment, like, who knows? Or maybe he's just going to keep Black Belt on anyway.
Luicho's gonna find Arena here. This does give him both red and blue books within about, I want to say, 2 minutes. So if Jupiter takes a harsh death to, say, late phase Julius or Endgame Chaos, it could be that this presents an opportunity for Luicho to come back. If he has a good farm.
And then on Jupiter's side, the proverbial, where is Gardens? Does he remember? It looks like he does.
Does anybody know where Gardens is? Yep.
Or maybe not?
Good on Luicho for not heading down to take that save. I think it's a lot better, especially if you have the health to spare, to just head straight up. Since doing these top checks in Arena is pretty safe. Though he's going to take this heal before tanking through the Red Minotaur room. He's headed Jupiter. I don't know where he's going, man.
Like, I remember one of the Gardens entrances in corridors, but I don't remember the other one. Huh.
Hey, look, he can finally get this check. Will he choose to go for it? Aww.
Nope.
Doesn't want his black cloak. Luicho might want to heal before heading out of Arena. Luicho? Where are you going?
Sir? Sir?
I know that there's only 4 checks left in the game. There's only 4 checks left in the game. It could be the Luicho's.
Okay, Jupiter just doesn't remember, it seems. Or maybe he just now has.
So it looks like while Jupiter chose to do that farm, Luicho is going to clear Arena. He's very confident that he's cleared the rest of this game, every other check, and that means his Blue Soul is in Arena. So he's going to be doing these 3 worst room checks in this boss check, which is Big Golem, I think?
Yeah, I think it has to be.
Yeah, he's doing these checks under the assumption I'm gonna find my blue book. It's gonna be faster than if I farmed. He's not wrong.
Well, there's his big goal.
Luicho, I
Okay.
think, is in go mode as well.
Alright, Jupiter gets to the gardens. He found it.
So that's just a bit more time that Jupiter has lost in his lead.
And it's hard to remember these things. It really is.
It'll only get harder in the next seed.
Yeah,
since they're
definitely.
playing all 2 or 3 in a row, there's going to be some real seed bleed in your memories, your locations. That's good damage. 138 from your Rush Soul.
I don't know if anyone knows this, but the Julius fight's my favorite. I don't know why anyone would know this, so I'm always excited to see top players do the fight.
There's a strat that Jupiter, I believe, actually, don't quote me on this, I believe Jupiter pioneered, where you Rush Soul right after landing the stun on Julius.
Oh.
And if he does the whip, you land 3 hits, and if he slides, he lands 2 hits. So it's a pretty consistent way to get damage. Luicho has Arc Demon and Red Minotaur. And there's cheap beef curry in the shop, I believe. This could lead to, like, very fast boss fights. This Arc Demon Soul combined with his very powerful reds and blues.
Yeah, he's kind of doing big nutso damage on Graham right now. Will it be enough though? Jupiter is closing out second phase right now. Going into chaotic.
And Luicho hitting 48 without Triton equipped.
That's the power of fighting a Balor. Wow, and the Red Minotaur with Arc Demon on the third phase too. This is stuff you don't see very often.
Around that Ranginus. Looks like Jupiter is not quite confident in that Poison Fist for Chaos here.
Boo, Ranginus.
This could be sub 50, but I'm not thinking... I don't think it will, but it's always possible with a player as skilled as Jupiter. And for a seed this stingy, sub 50 is pretty good.
Yeah, honestly.
It was a full clear for Luicho, basically. They each skipped about 3 to 4 checks each.
That's crazy to think about. Burt gang. The Chaotic Realm has some really... The rooms are stitched together from other parts of the castle, and there's some pretty interesting movement to get through here optimally. It can be really challenging, honestly.
And the enemies hit really hard, so you have to choose. You have to choose which ones to tank, which he's not saving. Remember what I said about that death? A death here could equalize it?
It could.
A death here,
yeah.
I think, puts Luicho pretty far in the lead. So
on that side, though, I really don't blame Jupiter. The seed has been so rough, and I'm sure he's felt behind since that first death in Reservoir.
Yeah. Ooh, Luicho taking some early hits before he's even used his mana. And even though Jupiter had that Devil Soul, Luicho's Curly is doing equal damage due to the levels from Balor. So, not as much of a lead not as much of an advantage as it could have been.
Yeah, I mean, and now the pressure's on. You'll see.
Phase 1. Seeing some more of that Rush Soul landing attack on Julius from Luicho's side.
So good.
Now for Chaos, the real boss here, it's the core in the middle, 3000 HP, 201 defense. These eyes on the side, 3000 HP, 0 defense. Everyone that you kill lowers the core's defense by 20. So, it's a question of how high level are you, what are your weapons, how many of these eyes do you need to kill so that you can kill the core optimally. Usually it's a 2 or a 3 eye. We could see, I want to say 3 eye from Jupiter here, but it's also possible he might be going for a 4 eye with these jump attacks in the top eye.
Yeah, I don't think his equipment is all that great. Like, you know, not top tier with like, he just has Poison Fist and the Via and the Khaled Bulb, which, you know, those are good, but they're not anything to, you know, just rush into this fight with. Oh, and the Rajana Spirit, right?
It's understandable, especially if taking a lot of damage, but he does have a decent amount of healing. I think like 3 or 4 healing items left. So as long as he doesn't get comboed, it's not a lot of core damage. I think he's going to be using Ranjanus for the core here. Ranjanus and his Rush Soul. Lucho takes down Julius. Took a lot of damage there, and used a lot of his healing, but he hopefully has enough left for Chaos.
Oh, this part of the Chaos fight makes me so nervous with the orbs closing in and the spikes that come out. I'm like, oh no.
That's no MP healing for Jupiter. And he doesn't have that Arc Demon Soul.
The joys!
Oh my god.
The arcing weapon. It actually does 30 to the core.
I don't think that would be worth it.
I think it's safer, which I don't blame Jupiter for going
yeah,
for.
You get to stay in the center, and it's a bit better arc for dealing with the orbs.
Yeah.
So Vijaya has more range. Forgot to equip Stolas and lost out on about 100 damage there. It's not huge in the whole scheme of things, but it's just a bit slower. I do think Ranjanus would be dealing like, honestly, 60 damage here.
Yeah, but oh, good job.
Ooh, fast fight. That's some pretty good Manticore damage or Devil damage there. First game goes to Jupiter.
How did you do it? How did you do it, Barracks?
He went Arena. He skipped enough checks, and he did those very good resets on like Forbidden. He saved that time that he lost from that early death, and he's made up a bit more.
Getting away with it, man.
He was incredibly rewarded with his arena book placement there.
Yeah.
If those books had been bottom dance hall, if they'd been in any of the checks that he'd skipped across the map, Luicho takes that.
Right? Like, imagine if those books were at Waterfall when Luicho did the Waterfall climb. Imagine. That race would have looked so different.
Would have been a time. Yeah, Luicho is probably going to be finishing up Chaos here, giving it a try. It should go pretty quickly. He has healing, he has Arc Demon, he has a Red Minotaur. So we're going to see some Red Minotaur strats. You can use it to hit the core and all 4 eyes at once for some insane damage. It was hitting like 500 on the lore. It's going to hit probably 600-700 on these eyes here. And since you can hit all 4 at once, that's some huge damage.
Yeah, huge deal.
They go down quick. It is the strat for New Game Plus Glitchless, actually.
Alright, into phase 2. Luicho had a tough time on phase 1. I mean, understandably, it's a hard fight, of course. But, he's got plenty of healing, so I think we'll be doing just fine. Oh, Red Minotaur is shredding.
Oh, so much healing left. We're seeing just that absurd Red Minnow damage. Using a mind up just so he doesn't have to move.
And this race is a lot closer than it may, like Jupiter was finished Chaos a few minutes ago, but like Luicho's fight is going to be significantly faster.
Only 4 eyes down in just a minute here. Basically the moment he touches that bottom right eye, it's going down. Yep.
Nice. He sneezed on it.
And he's also hitting about 90 per hit with his Rush Soul. Honestly, that devil, not as impactful as I would have thought since Lucha got those extra levels.
Yeah, although it did definitely help close the gap between the two players because I mean Jupiter didn't have to fight below or anything like that.
Yeah.
That being said, if you can line up Red Minotaur, it definitely does do more damage on the core.
That was a really fast fight for Lucho. He got that extra damage on the core with Red Minotaur at the start.
Yeah.
So, just like barely any hits and he's finished. Now, like I said, this is a best of 3. That's the first match going to Jupiter, but we will be seeing matches 2 and possibly 3 just right after a quick break here, so don't go anywhere. And we're back with Game 2 of this best of 3 grand finals between JupiterClimb and LuichoX. I'm still here, Barracks, with Garni Texas and Vey Victus doing tracking.
Hi guys.
So this last seed, the first seed, we saw a very, very rough seed. Weird placements for progression, especially the start. 2 books in the very last area for both runners. So both runners are hoping for a much better seed. We're seeing the Zombie Officer Soul off the start, Levitain in the shop, very cheap. And a Dead Crusader Skull. Pretty good shop here, a very good weapon. That is endgame ready. They will not have to do any more shopping for the rest of the game if they don't want. So last seed, we also saw a Panther very late into the starting selection after Creaking Skull. About a 50-50 chance where it is. So I bet Luicho at least is hoping Panther's in the first room, as it'll allow him easier access. But alas, not. More money and a mind up for his troubles. Again, checking that left door. If we see Chapel here, that could signal possible divergence, but it is just Dance Hall. This is the slide blocked entrance, so without slide or giant bat, all Luicho can do is stare at that locked check in the ceiling, and stare at a locked door. Good to remember though for the future when they get slide, bat, Malphus, and kicker, as there are things to do there.
That Skull Million soul is a lot stronger than I expected it to be. We saw Jupiter use it a lot in the last race as well, when they didn't have much to use.
Malphus in the breakable wall spot. You do not see that very often. So that'll allow the runners to go just about anywhere in the seed. We could see Luicho diverge immediately, heading right and do the floating garden skip. And we will do that. He killed the peeping eye for the fans!
What a Chad. Oh, Disc Armor is an even better red soul. That's really nice.
So yeah, quick divergence here. Jupiter heading up to the rest of corridors. He's going to get Succubus for his troubles. Very good yellow soul. Removes basically the entire need for healing. Takes Luicho to lower clock tower. Probably not worth doing anything here. He can't without Succubus or without Skula. It looks like he's choosing
the warp though.
Yeah. It was a question of if he grabbed the warp and headed back to the start, or if he grabbed the warp and left. Looks like Luicho wants to bet on there being progression here. And behind a wall, can he get that?
I don't think so. Oh, wow.
He can get that with Cockatrice, yeah, from above.
Don't die to the...
Not die.
Oh,
That's Skula. That's pretty nice for Luicho. And flying armor?
You know what I say? Early flying armor means fast seeds.
Flying armor was early last seed, it was in Reservoir.
Yeah, but it was it was in Reservoir next to Malphus. That doesn't count.
Can you get that with Skull? Man, Jupiter has the worst luck.
Oh my god, what?
What was that check that Luicho just got?
Some red soul, I forgot already.
What did Luicho just get?
Oh, Killer Doll, that's what the chat's saying, yeah.
Okay. Go, simply cycle for Jupiter.
Chad? Can we ban Medusa heads?
Not doing waterfall climb, SMH. Yeah, now Jupiter headed back to the start. Is Luicho doing the what is so
He could have warped.
no, he's yeah, he could have.
Nice loop.
So Luicho is known within the Aria Star Randomizer community for a Luicho routing, which is just the strangest set of route decisions that you'll ever see. Case in point, he got Malphus, immediately ignored the rest of the area he was in to go do floating garden check, and then instead of heading back to Clock Tower, did another Skula exit, which ended up heading back to Clock Tower. And sometimes the seed sees Luicho's route choices and says, okay, you get to win the race.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't do that. Jupiter has said in the past that some seeds are just made for Luicho, and no matter who he's playing against, he will win them.
Honestly.
So it'll be interesting to see if this is one of the seeds where his route choices pay off or not.
Oh, Jupiter's doing the climb, and you know that's kind of his name.
True. It's a waterfall climb, Mr. Strummer himself.
Luicho, please use Disc Harbor. He has used everything but Disc Harbor in this fight.
Maybe Gladiator's better. Have you considered that?
It's not.
So now Jupiter, I think, got some red soul, and now he's confident that he can get this check. I lied. He's just taunting himself and going the other direction
Oh man.
to do these Skula checks.
Surely Bat won't be down here again, right?
Haunting
toilet
him.
paper.
Samurai.
Oh wait, you can go back and get that gray soul now, Juke.
Huh?
Oh
Kick her there again, man.
man, this seed is something else.
And it's the left side of inner quarters. Debatable which side of inner is better to find. This side does have a save point, which lets you save before facing this boss, and as we've only seen... Oh?
Bro.
Oh, slide. You can get it again!
Yeah. What is this seed? It's... I can't follow it. It's so weird right now. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, where it might want you to go as a player, and then, what? Like, Jupiter's just going back, and I don't blame him.
Well, it's not... You need... Skula is flight locked. So I think this is flight, probably?
No, this gray, I mean, you could get it with very little items. Yeah, there's... Oh my god.
Yeah, but it's slide locked, and we just saw slide there. So slide
Yeah.
leads to flight, leads to Skula.
Oh my gosh.
So the Skula checks, I think, are the highest complexity.
So Luicho routing, we'll see if Jupiter has something to say about it.
Good boss here, great armor, easiest boss in the pool. Though, also very little reward. A level up at this low level though. But that means Jupiter can now get the warp here.
And Clock Tower gets to the other side of quarters. What is going on?
This Luicho standing still. Luicho types in race time chat, it just started raining by the way. If I disappear, you know why. Wish him luck. My man has power outages basically every day. Hopefully, it does not occur today. Not in this match.
Give him your power, chat. So we've seen a lot go on in these first 8 minutes of this seed. We've seen a lot of different areas. We've seen a lot of different entrances. Luicho's looped around a bunch. Jupiter's made decisions to go back into the reservoir and things like that. Just a lot of things to really keep in mind compared to the other seed, which is pretty linear and really strange for the first little bit. So I mean, this could be a good thing, and it could be a hard thing to like keep track of for the later part of the seed.
Especially if I think we're seeing some runners skip some checks, go into an area, leave, without doing everything there. There's a lot of choices and a lot to remember.
Yeah. Whereas last time, like, you were kind of funneled in until you got flight. Getting flight early and then seeing a bunch of these different places just allows for so much to, like, be caught in your mind. Although I bet it feels really good after last seed to have this kind of progression and to be able to just run through, oh, I have Levitate, who cares, you know, things like that.
After that Milligan sword start. Yeah.
It always leads to Easter.
I think Eastern is a good play here. We saw Skula was flight locked.
Yeah,
Flight was
but...
slide locked.
Okay, yeah, he can make it with that healing. I was about to say.
And Levitane's a good enough weapon that you could just kill the enemies in your way.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think there's a pretty good chance that some of these checks are actually like halfway decent.
Now, Skula is placed in the randomizer twice, actually. So while the first Skula that we saw was flight locked, there could be another one within the seed that, you know, doesn't have any extra requirements behind it.
That's true. I think that duplicates are tried to place it around. Try to be placed at around the same like complexity level. But I'm not Fuse. I'm just parroting what I've read.
Well, and I've definitely played some seeds where it's like, yeah, Skula was flight locked. One of them was flight locked, but the other one was in dance hall, and you could have gotten that like Sphere Zero kind of thing.
White Dragon could be the required soul. Completely random. Lucho's going to get Hippogriff on the right here. Able to use a wall-piercing soul to get it.
Huh, that he definitely had for a long time. God, 77 from the fish heads. Why?
Fish heads are scary, man.
I don't think they're made of bone. I think they're made of like titanium or something.
There's all that progression that we've seen Jupiter get.
Yeah. I mean, okay, he did get at least one soul, which is better than nothing. He could have gotten like 4 castle maps.
What is Luicho doing? It's
okay, he knows what he's doing.
I don't understand either runner's routing this seed. Normally I have a pretty good grasp. Yo! Random drop Arc Demon from Needles? That's really good. It's a pretty common soul drop, so we could see Luicho grab that as well when he heads over into eastern and west part of Reservoir. Gets it again.
Yeah, I mean, you kill a lot of needles running through Reservoir in general. It's pretty unlikely you don't get the soul in a randomizer. Oh.
Still a book. That's our first book, 12 minutes in.
It's White Dragon.
It's White Dragon.
Eastern paid off? Although I didn't see what you needed to farm for it if you don't go to Eastern.
That's a rush soul for Lucio. He's able to grab it. I think Jupiter probably grabbed that as well through the wall.
Yeah, he used cockatrice to get it.
I love when I love when the duplicate books are like a screen apart.
Yeah.
It's like, here's one in the beginning of study. You go through the other side of study. It's another one immediately.
By the way, this is a grape seed. Jupiter finding grapes at the top of Chapel. You'll love to see it.
And Lucha is heading up, doing these checks. He's not going to do Eastern, probably. Just do the check in the middle and then head left. But he will find that yellow book, and then also the other yellow book. So we saw farming pay off for Jupiter last seed, though it wasn't that far away. And it could be that Luicho is the one farming this seed.
Oh, you see that disc armor? It's so good. On Jupiter's side, fighting Manticore, you just like two-hit him. Amazing.
But what if you used Gladiator instead?
It would have been 5 hits.
There's Arc Demon for Luicho. 2 Arc Demon seeds, pretty good.
They always make the end game so much less complex. Okay, so the white dragon souls from Demon Lord.
Oh.
That's awkward.
Is that the one I think it is?
There are multiple devil demon looking monsters. I believe Demon Lord's in Chaotic.
Yeah, it's looking that way. It's the one that I've googled the location of before. Yep.
Oh man, so Eastern is required.
Yeah, so there's a couple enemies in this game, I believe 3 of them, Demon Lord, Alistor, and Shadow Knight, which can only be encountered after you kill Graham and Julius and get on the way to Chaotic Realm. So it's about a 1 in 33 chance that a soul is dropped from these. And we have 1. So this means you must find the soul canister, which we saw in Eastern. So if Luicho puts that off for too long, that's going to be game.
Yeah, but it's pretty early into the seed as well, so we don't know what might happen.
Wait,
No.
It could also be in the shop.
Oh yeah, it could be the shop. That's true.
The shop selection of souls is completely random, separate from any waiting. So, especially with some of the more common souls, the smaller pools, it's possible to just get those in the shop.
Yeah, and Luicho did fight death already, so he's got an upgrade just waiting to be seen.
Lightning Tall is very good for Jupiter. Probably second best red soul in the game right there. So that'll help his damage a lot. Though Disc Armor, as we've seen, is already very good.
I think Lightning Doll's a little better. But Disc Armor is definitely a top tier red.
I'm not seeing that yellow soul for Luicho in the shop. Though there is one more shop upgrade.
Right, so fighting Death and fighting Headhunter both upgrade the shop. Any number of items, I don't recall exactly. But they also increase the amount of souls, which in the normal game, souls aren't found in the shop, but in the randomizer, you can buy them for 15k.
One more of those redundancies that makes this randomizer so good.
You'll love to see it. Jupiter now in Clock Tower. He's going to be tracing Luicho's footsteps while Luicho goes through the dance hall that Jupiter's already gone through. And it's at this time I'd like to remind y'all to follow SpeedGaming and the runners and the cool people. Did Jupiter go down like any more of the dance hall, or is this something that Luicho is solely doing?
I don't recall. I know Jupiter got that Kaknazo soul.
Yeah, I remember that too. Below again.
I don't think he did. Jupiter's level isn't that high.
Yeah, okay. Valor should be good. Like Levitain, if Luicho puts on disc armor, even better. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to flame Luicho, it's just this card is awesome.
He unequips his red soul.
We're gonna have to talk. Freaking Skull is super nice for this fight, though.
A very comforting fight for all the 80% runners among us.
Yeah. You know, I learned
Fighting.
recently, learning more of the 80% no 0 HP route, that in order to prime the Creaking Skull to swing, you need to swing your weapon. And so while crouching underneath Balor's fists a few times, you swing your weapon to prime the Creaking Skull to swing as the fists like pull back.
The similar thing you can do with Shadow Knight and Big Golem. As those start attacking when you attack. Giant bat behind behind Balor. Not what you want to see there.
It's vanilla, technically. In some way.
Ideally, I think Luicho was hoping to find a book or one of his required souls there, but
Yeah.
he does go into Eastern. If you
Go,
check
Luicho!
this... Oh, thank God.
Yes, okay. Alright, so he's going to Eastern. Now, as long as he equips Disc Armor, we will have no gripes with him anymore.
Player. But only if he puts on Disc Armor.
Only.
Arena has
Alright.
it again. Could be though. Though I don't think we've seen most of Study either.
No.
Or
And
Gardens and Top Floor for that matter.
we
There's
haven't
still a
seen
lot of map
Cemetery
left.
either.
You don't have to start worrying about another 3-book arena. Study was done by Jupiter. There's book 2. Okay.
Oh, we both just missed. Oh yeah, I did see in the chat earlier people talking about Blue Book being Devil. I don't know if I'm remembering that correctly.
An unlucky play from Luicho for skipping out on those study checks.
Meanwhile, Jupiter just flying through a lot of the castle here. I mean, his movement is incredible all the time.
He's gonna skip that forbidden area. Not a bad play. Could be that he just wanted to grab this save and then he could head back, but not looking like it.
Did you see what was in that room?
No.
I don't.
But
Oh,
oh, he does have. I think he has Killer Fish.
from Dead Warrior. Which one
Yeah.
is that?
That's the one on the horse.
That's the one on the horse. Okay.
Yeah, that is his red book. He has 3 books. He has the red soul. He has the yellow soul. So is it just the blue soul that he doesn't have?
Oh, and what monster? Because I didn't see the blue book. I wonder what monster it is he needs to farm for that.
I haven't found top flush gardens yet. I don't believe so.
Alright, Luicho's gonna find duplicate books right here in the arena. That's how this is gonna play out.
Yep. That's a 6-book seed. Alright, also not bad. That from Dead Crusader, Shells thinks. Interesting.
Oh, that'd be mean if it's from Dead Crusader.
That's a not fun farm. Huh? Oh. Well, that's our duplicate Skula.
Nice, nice. And I wasn't paying attention where this connected, where Arena connected from. But either way, super out of the way for the other Skula.
We saw Jupiter doing those checks at the end of Forbidden. Like I said, books aren't placed with logic. They can be anywhere in the entire seed, so... or not books, sorry, souls. So I think since Jupiter is just missing those souls now, he basically needs to do every check that he can, lest he choose to skip something and that's his required soul.
Picks up Galamoth here in the gardens. That's one more place we can head to, and it's generally pretty nice.
So you'd be forgiven if after seeing last seed you never want to go Galamoth again.
Absolutely. That place sucked last seed. Okay.
Top 4 connects to gardens. Pretty convenient.
Yeah, you love to see it. I was just thinking, Leo, okay, so we got the gardens from Forbidden Area, which is at the end of... Oh, and he's got Devil. Okay, come on.
This is sub 35, definitely. We can see like 32 minutes, I think. That's go mode for Jupiter. This is an insanely fast seed.
No, Barracks has to... not Barracks. Jupiter has to throw for the next 20 minutes so we can get a third game.
Yep.
He's gotta.
Seeing that curly arc demon strat from Luicho yet again. Dealing even more damage this time. And into Gram for Jupiter. With Devil and whatever yellow soul that was that he just equipped, plus Levitain. Should be a pretty fast fight here. And by fast I mean I lied. Yeah.
He does have Arc Demon. I don't know how much healing he has though.
It could be a slow endgame. Tried to get hit there, but didn't quite manage it.
Gram's a little Tsundere. Tear of blood for Luicho as his reward.
I'm able to use Bat to clip through this wall here, though. Pretty cool tech. It's allowed in the randomizer. So only hitting 27 with Levitain and, what, 60 with Devil? Unless we see a bit of a better weapon soon, this could actually be a pretty long end game.
Yeah, unfortunately the last three bosses in this game don't give you any experience, so you don't like power up at all in the randomizer should you go here like right away if you find things early.
Good use of Muramasa, it's multi-hitting, so though it's only doing 10 damage, it's hitting 3 times on the way up, once or twice on the way down, 40, 50 damage. And getting hit once there. I don't know if that was... Is that no healing I see?
He's too good.
It's doable, especially for a player as good as Jupiter, but even still, it's really risky to do the end game without any healing. So we might see a shop trip.
Yeah, I wonder what's going through Jupiter's head right now, considering how quickly he found things. Does he wonder if Luicho also found those things quickly? What bosses he might have done? If, like, Luicho's also in the Gram fight? Should Jupiter risk going to the shop if there is healing in there?
Takes another hit? I don't think that's going to be a problem. Yeah, finishes off the fight.
Soul Eater.
That's what we look for Luicho.
Okay, he's just one away from reaching Gram. Well, after he finds top floor.
Yeah, he still needs to find Deckard in his top floor connection.
But top floor did have the Devil Soul, so that once he does, he'll be in good hands. And the very convenient connection here, back into, right into Gardens. Nothing to remember. It was the last place he was, right before top floor. Very comfy.
Well, we didn't see any shop trips, so I don't think Jupiter has any healing for this.
Okay,
So,
this could be tough.
yeah, it's the skill check.
If anyone could do it, I definitely have faith in Jupiter being able to.
Well, some bad Julius RNG to start. Immediately into the Omnia Vanitas spam. I believe Julius can do that any number of times in a row, just without care, and already taking a hit. We are still seeing some good land and cancel into Rush Soul when he gets it stun. That's right, he does have Succubus. Jupiter,
Wow.
very low right now, but if he can keep his Succubus healing above that 160 mark, then he won't be at risk of taking a death to Julius here. Though even still, it'll be a risk on Chaos when you can get comboed pretty easily and go from 300 to death.
I forgot that Succubus was something they picked up. I remember now. They got it really early. That's why I forgot it. Clean fight so far for Jupiter on the Julius.
And good on remembering that Succubus.
Yeah.
We both forgot it, and this is the runner's second seed, so just think about the amount that they've had to remember so far, and any bleed. But good to keep that in mind, and on to phase 2.
Okay, Luicho is going to get his red book now, and he saw Forbidden. If he decides to go back up into Forbidden, he'll go through Gardens and get to top floor too.
Oh, a spoiled milk. That item, they're right there. Luicho does have Killer Fish. His White Dragon. He just needs to go for that, Blue Soul up in top floor.
He's going down!
This could be the other side of top floor.
It's the other...
Amazing.
This is some Chad movery.
Luicho does this sometimes. We'll see one side, and he's doing this check just in case it's the Blue Soul. I hope he doesn't decide to clear Gardens. Yeah, he's heading back to top floor. Luicho will do this sometimes where he's like, where he needs to find an area, and we've already seen one exit, and it seems pretty logical to go there, but Luicho just does something completely different, and it takes him right to the area he needs.
So crazy. Jupiter is into Chaotic Realm now. That Julius fight was finished, and now we're gonna see the end.
With 3 checks here, Jupiter is hoping for really anything. Better weapon, better armor, better healing. All of that would be very good for Jupiter right now.
Luicho almost getting the kiss of death from that Succubus.
If Jupiter saves up top, he can likely die several times on Chaos to win the race. I wouldn't say that. Chaos would be a pretty long fight with his gear. So I'd say Jupiter has 1, maybe 2 deaths to take. Demon's Mail, that could be a difference making. Seeing that jump in defense from 27 to 61.
Yeah, plus a resistance to dark, so the larger orb that the Bone Dragon spits out won't be as much of a threat now.
Yeah, this also makes him take generally less damage, so he'll be able to survive a lot better with Succubus. So a very good item check to find there, even though the rest of them weren't very good. Ooh!
Oh no.
He can rush soul through this safely. Jupiter,
He's gonna. Oh my gosh! I
there
don't
are
approve. No,
there
this
are
is
there are
scary.
safer ways to do this.
Yeah, I would just
You
book it
can
and just hope I got it.
you can charge a rush soul from across the room and cross this and get through the Shadow Knight. Oh my god!
Yeah. It's one of those things where, like, if you doubt yourself, you're probably gonna mess up.
Yeah. No, he did heal enough algorithm.
Oh my
Don't like 110.
gosh. Jupiter, you can't keep doing this to me.
And keep getting away with this.
You can't keep getting away with it, man.
Seeing that Muramasa that he grabbed in, I want to say Forbidden, it's a multi-hit weapon, the strongest of the katanas. So it's very strong against these low defense, 0 defense targets, the Chaos Phase 1. And we'll probably also see it against the Eyes in Phase 2. And that's Graham down for Luicho. Honestly, still going to be a very good time for Luicho, even considering that he's a couple fights behind right now.
I mean, this race still could still change hands. Like Luicho, so Jupiter. I mean, obviously this depends on like Jupiter dying to Chaos, but Luicho has Lubricant and he has everything else that he would need to. He's got extra levels on top with the Balor fight.
Luicho just checked that exit because he hasn't seen the other side of Gardens, and it might have been right there for Luicho. that was his thought process.
Oh,
he didn't get hit?
Jupiter's doing...
Well, that's some good lightning doll damage.
Jupiter's confidence in the Chaos fight is bar none. Second to none.
Just the amount of times that he's done this fight. Though, he's mentioned that every time he enters this fight is just as nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's so honestly, unpredictable.
Yeah, seriously. But honestly, like, that's just the mark of, like, an incredible competitor. Is like, I mean, top players also feel nerves and things like that as well, but, like, to be able to perform with those nerves as well is just, you know, that's just what separates them. I mean, I can say, I got third, and I can say that a lot of the times I enter the Chaos fight, it's like, yeah, I am so nervous right now. Or even in the Julius fight, where, like, I've performed incredibly well. Like, it's like, whoa, if I mess this up, like, it could just ruin the whole race.
Yeah. It's just, you know how to do it, and you've done it hundreds of times before, but just any little mistake costs you in these kinds of fights. They're just that well designed, that well made. They're just really good fights, honestly.
Yeah.
Decent damage on core? Yeah, it's the multi-hitting. Same with Graham 3, hitting that 10 damage, but hitting it 3 to 5 times per jump.
Ooh, I think he's dead.
I don't think the orb bounces. I don't think it bounces towards him, so he's at like 100 HP.
Oh, now he's done.
Oh!
I thought he got 2, but no, you're right. He would have survived.
Yeah, he got bounced in the second one. Jupiter got hit by 2 orbs. That's the combo damage that we were talking about.
Yeah, that's honestly, that's just how Chaos can go.
Yeah, without that safety net of extra healing, Jupiter just ends up taking a death from those orbs, so making it close. Luicho onto phase 2 of Graham. Onto phase 2 of Julius, so gonna be done with that fight pretty soon as well, if he stops dodging.
And to return to the topic of like nerves and things like that, does that, I wonder what's going through Jupiter's mind is like, does that death add on to those nerds or nerds? Does that add on to his nerves, or does that like kind of release some of the stress that he's been having? I think I'm more nervous than Jupiter is.
I think that would add. I think it makes me more nervous. At least it makes me more nervous. It's the I took a death. I've been playing this as if my skill level is enough to carry me through, but that death could have made the difference. If Luicho is playing more safe, if he has that healing, he'll be able to get through this death, unlike me. Something like that, I'm thinking.
The more you lose, the more you're a nerd.
Oh my god.
Oh, this has been a quality. This has been a quality set so far. And there's no telling who's gonna win yet, even though Jupiter is ahead right now.
One more death from Jupiter, that evens it up, and Luicho's higher level, more healing could be the difference maker. But, so for Jupiter right now, he just needs to, honestly, play his heart out.
Yeah. I'm sure he can do it.
I find it funny that Luicho equipped Iron Golem after getting hit, so it didn't actually do anything.
Yeah, I'm surprised he was fast enough to get out without the second hit even. I can't.
It's all 4 eyes down for Jupiter again, hitting 50 per hit with his Devil. Not a lot. Remember, the core has 3000 HP. I think. Does it take a hit? Yeah, it takes a hit there. But he swaps onto Arc Demon, so some more MP. Saving those Mana Prisms. And Luicho takes that save before Chaos, headed in.
Alright, we see the orbs being summoned. We'll see what happens this time.
The Chaos fight, in general, what you have to watch out for is the Snake. You can hit the orbs away, you can dodge the Thorns because they don't have a whole lot of hitboxes when they're being summoned. But if the Snake decides that it's going to come up from beneath, it's going to hit you to the side to one of those orbs, it's going to circle around the core to close off your options. The Snake is the issue here.
Yeah, and the general strategy that I've picked up on is if you're relying on a Rush Soul for most of your damage, not to use the Rush Soul until the Snake is on the screen so that you know it's not going to surprise you when you come out of the iframes.
Ooh, good fight. That's Chaos down for Jupiter. And that is victory. Jupiter takes...
it!
Yeah, Jupiter takes the Aria Randomizer Tournament 2022. With let me check the bracket now, actually.
Did he lose a single game?
No. Took that without losing a single game.
Undefeated. Unbelievable.
Some very close matches, though, especially his last 4 games against Luicho.
Yeah.
As he went up against Luicho twice in a row. Yeah, we're gonna see, speaking of Luicho, his Chaos fight here, much higher level, so... Right off the bat, no eyes down, hitting 41 against that core. Welcome, Jupiter! Congratulations!
Hello, thank you so much.
What was your thought
really
process? What was your thought process with that Chaos fight after taking that death there?
Well, I'm glad we're going to start with Game 2. I'm not sure I want to talk about Game 1.
You know, we don't have to talk about Game 1.
Yeah, Game 2 was great. I got nervous right around the end of Chaotic Realm when I took that hit from Shadow Knight. And I was playing a bit shaky. I liked my strat, kind of switching back and forth between Succubus and Archdemon, but I had no backup healing, and that cost me on the first attempt. Second attempt was perfect. Really good gameplay. First one, not as good, but, you know, it's Aria. Sometimes Chaos is going to win. It happens.
We're just
definitely.
watching here. On the other side, Luicho is also playing it very risky, using the Lubricant Soul.
Oh, where did Luicho
I
find lubricants?
I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot to.
I think it was a random drop, probably. But he's making good use of that to raise his damage to nearly double yours, only 2 eyes down. So
Well, it sounds like both races were pretty dang close then. Seed 1, as bad as it was still within around 3 minutes.
yeah, and Luicho
And
just
this one
finished
also around 3,
a minute and
yeah.
58 seconds slower. So incredibly close races here.
Great grand finals, it sounds like. I was not happy with Game 1. You know, these Malthus and Reservoir seeds are just the worst to play. They don't come up that often, they're pretty rare. But of course it makes sense, grand finals Game 1, we get one.
Yeah.
Nope.
Hello.
Welcome,
Hey,
Luicho.
what's up, Luicho?
Jeez.
Super close races, both of these, as well as your previous set. Some of the best Aria we've seen recently.
Yeah.
Luicho, I have one question. It's a very personal one.
Oh my god.
Why didn't you equip disc armor, man?
What about it?
You had it at the very beginning of this scene, and you could have. It was. I saw you using a gladiator against death.
Yeah, I wanted to use Gladiator.
No, disc armor is so much better.
No, I wanted to use Gladiator. Gladiator's funny.
Okay,
Funnier.
I can accept the meme.
Yeah,
I don't want to
that's-
speak for Luicho, but I think we can both agree Seed 1, I don't think we were happy with the time.
That was the worst seed of all time.
But you just can't do much with a seed like that. It's gonna be a bad time either way.
It's so bad. Oh my god. Yeah.
We both played it very well, though.
Well,
there's-
aside from the fact that I forgot where Garden was, I had in
was
the back of my
wondering.
brain that it was in Castle Corridors somewhere. And then when I didn't find it on the first look, I doubted myself. I think I lost like, what, 45 seconds to a minute? Maybe a little bit
Yeah.
more. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was just one of those little things that made it a lot closer. You kept going back in which one of you had the lead. Little things like Luicho didn't reset out of that Forbidden Soul. You did, saved a minute. You took that death at the start to the devil. God, that devil room. Awful start there.
That does
Well,
feel
go.
more like a hard logic kind of route, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's no armor, no movement reservoir.
Yeah, like I've had one of those with Malphus and Reservoir when I was playing against Faye Victus in the tournament, but we had claim in the shop, so it wasn't out of this world to go to the Maneater room to get Malphus when you have claim. But when you don't have anything to work with, it's like, okay, sure, whatever.
That reminds me, something I did like about this grand finals a lot. Neither seed had a really top tier weapon, unless Luicho found something crazy game 2. I think the best
I
we
used to
found
use
was
Leviathan.
Leviathan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to say that then. I
There
had
were
Arc
some
Beam on
cool
both
chaos
seeds.
strats, both games, I think.
I
Well,
had
got
Arc
to
Beam
see
on
a
both
lot
seeds
of
though.
got to see a lot of variation in weapons. I think Jupiter used a lot of Muramasa against Graham and Chaos, and Luicho was very soul based, especially in game 1.
Yeah. It was
So-
really interesting.
It wasn't just, hey, here's a claim both seeds. I like that.
I would have appreciated I claimed the first seed at least.
Jupiter, your play. I mean, I'm just not even gonna think about the death in the first game, but overall, like your play is so good. Like just understanding of the randomizer and like your movement through the rooms and everything like that. Just very, very well executed overall. And you were talking about the alternating strategy between Arc Demon and Succubus, and I had honestly, for both lyrics, and I had honestly forgot that y'all had picked up Succubus at the start, but you handled not only remembering that, of course, but just handled that kind of alternating strategy so incredibly well. It was really nice.
There's always a lot to remember when it comes to the Aria randomizer. That's why the chat's got to go easy on runners who forget Garden, okay? It's just, there's so much getting juggled in your brain, it's easy to drop that ball. But yeah, good gameplay. I was pretty happy with my play overall. Some small mistakes, but in bracket, you're going to make uncharacteristic mistakes. It's just kind of part of it, since the pressure's on. But I'm feeling pretty confident going into SpeedGaming Live 22. We do have another tournament later this year.
SpeedGaming Live, it's going to be bigger. It's going to have a prize pool. We're already at, I believe, $300. We are the #1 prize pool for the online tournaments.
Let's go.
So,
I think we
Let's
might
go.
end up hitting a $1,000 prize pool, factoring in the bonus by the start of the tournament. That would be huge. That would be by far the biggest ever Castlevania randomizer tournament period, as far as I know, certainly for Aria.
Hope I
that'd be
get,
insane.
I hope I get second on that one too. Oh my god.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
No! You
I'll
need
get my
melee.
rematch.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think, especially recently, these matches are really showing just how good everyone's getting. It used to be, oh, JupiterClimb is in the finals, I guess we know who's winning. And while it is 2-0, 4-0 on both your matches, all 4 of these games between Jupiter and Luicho here, incredibly close. Minutes of difference, like 1-3 minutes. really shows two decisions, a single death anywhere, that changes who wins the entire thing. Everyone is just getting so good at this randomizer.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see as I was doing commentary for some of the races that leads changing hands, and not just because of like route divergence and things like that, but just like overall decision tree and just being able to capitalize on what hand the randomizer dealt you.
So Berix, I did Eastern both seeds. Are you proud of me?
Thank you. I'm so proud. You also killed the peeping eye.
Yeah, I did. I told you.
Yeah, and Eastern actually paid off big on seed number 2.
Oh yeah,
It wasn't
did.
obvious at first, but there was no way to farm that yellow.
Right.
I actually had the yellow book already when I got that. I was really happy
Oh,
to
did
see
you?
White
I
Dragon.
fluked into it, so I was pretty fortunate.
Yeah, I was worried Luicho grabbed both yellows, and then, after seeing it later, entered into Eastern through the Eastern door. It's like, oh, thank God, you're gonna do Eastern.
Yeah, both of us kind of breathed a sigh of relief when you went through that door and like you had already gone from that direction. It's like, oh yeah, he's probably doing Eastern. Yes, he's doing Eastern.
I hate the Eastern route, but my thought process, I did it both times this race because I didn't want to lose a game to a lack of an Eastern check. So you don't like doing it, but you don't want to lose to it.
Yeah,
And game
right.
2, if I had skipped it like I normally do, I would have lost that race for sure.
Yeah, I'm also glad I did the same. I didn't want to lose because of Eastern. By the way, the next tournament, the SG Live, is gonna be Soul Compass, right?
It is going to be Soul Compass, yeah?
Yeah, that's important. It's gonna be a new format. Well, kinda. Slightly different.
It should make things overall easier and faster, honestly.
We're going to see a lot more seeds that are honestly sub 40.
Yeah.
I think we'll see a couple of sub 30s next bracket. So if you like quick Aria, do check out that one. It's going to be an even faster preset than we were using here.
Yeah, and as I've been saying through these two matches, like this Aria randomizer is really good to get into, and not like super complicated overall, and like matches aren't just decided by going one place instead of the other. There's a lot of redundancies and a lot of things that lead you to where you need to go. There's also just a lot of really good weapons and like souls and stuff like that, which allow you to finish the end game without being super underpowered.
Absolutely.
Come give it a try. Join the Discord linked on the tournament page. We can get you set up. Yeah. Does anyone any last words from our runners here?
That's it for me.
Just a shout out. Thank you so much, Berix and Garney, for commentating, and thank you, Vey, for doing the tracking. Appreciate the help.
Yeah.
In fact, let me just say thanks to everyone who volunteered for commentary and tracking. That's been the toughest thing to get volunteers for over the years, and honestly, this bracket was very smooth. A lot of people willing to contribute, so much appreciated.
I believe every single game, except possibly like half of one, had commentary or tracking, or both.
Yeah.
It was very good. Yeah, so shoutouts to the runners for this amazing set. Thanks to Garney. Go follow the runners, their links are in chat. If you enjoyed the commentary, or want to thank Vey for helping track, here's our links. Feel free to join the Discord, links on the tournament page. And yeah, thanks everybody for watching the RESR Randomizer Tournament 2022. And we will be back
Y'all.
for SpeedGaming Live.